Welcome to Approaching Meditation. This is the fourth class of the series, Knowing the Object of Meditation. As we have been speaking about the meditator, the modalities of meditation, and the object of meditation. Today we are going to speak about this, the object of meditation. What object does one need? And most importantly, where is its locus? Where do you need to locate it? Oftentimes we find it running all over the place, and we are running behind the object of meditation. So we need to fix it in a place, and that's we are going to discuss this today. Where we have something called the center of consciousness, called the heart here. Sri Ramakrishna says the heart is a splendid place to meditate. This is important because we don't need the other lower centers of consciousness, because we are already conscious of those centers. And how? When you're conscious of your body, you're conscious of your lower centers. You need to take a stand somewhere beyond this ordinary body consciousness, or we meditate on the body. The body is a big bondage, and we are increasing that bondage, increase that body consciousness. So Sri Ramakrishna says the heart is a splendid place, and once this center of consciousness is open, the rest of the centers, they open as in a kind of a sequence. You will find it's opening in a sequence. That being said, another problem is even those who practice meditation, those who are practiced meditators, and of course those who don't practice meditation, they have one single complaint: the mind is restless. Well, that's the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind becomes more restless when there is more ignorance. Knowledge makes it calm, if you notice. So the mind seeks knowledge, is trying to actually calm itself. And we know that is how it appears restless. So if you can feed it correctly, restlessness will automatically go. In today's world, the human body and mind was not designed to take so much stress in. We evolved for millions and billions of years in an environment that is completely different, and we've changed it all. So as a result, you are going to have stress and anxiety, and tension and worries and troubles, and no one teaches any kind of mind control. So it's essential for our mental and physical health that we do something to counter this kind of stressful living. Not only this, meditation is not just to counter stressful living. Meditation is a much deeper, you can say, science. It's a science of the soul, where you go down to the depths of your own personality, encounter yourself there, conquer it, and become free. This is the idea of meditation. Now, yes, restlessness. Before we can go into the inner dynamics, let's have a small meditation. You can say practice. Okay. Sit down straight, please, wherever you are. Don't lean against the backrest of the chair. Just keep your spine free, straight. And as we have mentioned, keep your gaze fixed on a spot just outside your chin or just outside your chest. Half close or close your eyes, please. Now gaze at that point intensely. Don't let go. This type of gazing will curb all old memories from rising. Become aware of your breath, please. Your chest rises and falls with each breath. At the same time, don't let go of that point where you are gazing. Use your willpower. Keep gazing at that point and see it transform from a dull gray point into a bright, luminous, golden point. Now place that point deep within your chest. Keep on gazing at that point. Okay, let go. Become aware of your chest rising and falling, please. Take a long deep breath and open your eyes, please. This being done, another thing I'd like to remind you, meditation is no passive activity. It is an intense activity. Many people sit down and they are meditating. That's not meditation. That's just sitting down and become passive. And we don't want to be passive passengers hijacked by the restless mind. You've got to exert your willpower. That is meditation, the heart of meditation rather. And you Each one of us has that capacity. Just don't let go. Hold that object of meditation and keep on holding it. Okay. Now, this, as I said, when you fix your gaze, your mental gaze on an object, we have actually two streams of consciousness. One is the conscious mind, of course, and hovering around it, covering everything, is up, below, everywhere, is the subconscious mind. So both work in a kind of a tandem. Okay. Now this is important. So we can call it the primary focus and the secondary focus. Generally, they both don't converge. They are supposed to work in tandem, but you're meditating and thinking of something else. And then you try to bring the mind back, and again it slips. You are dealing with two kinds of streams that are diverging, sometimes converging, again diverging. To hold both of these two together, two streams, is extremely important. So you focus your mind or your gaze on that object of meditation, and then that subconsciousness keeps on thinking of that object of meditation. I think this is okay. And the subconscious can be trained, everything can be trained, the mind can be trained, everything can be trained. So you train your mind. How do you train? Through meditation. So when you focus here, you are, through your secondary mind or secondary stream of consciousness, which is subconsciousness, are thinking about that object of meditation only. This is important because you've got to think of the meaning of that object of meditation. Otherwise, it becomes just kind of a mechanical kind of focus. We don't want any mechanical, because every time you meditate, you are creating or recreating a mind, a new mind, and you are laying down layers and layers and layers of that. And meditation should bring you knowledge. Yes, people have been meditating, and a lot of people come to me, I've been meditating for 20 years. I said, oh, I said, good. So the Sanskrit word for meditation is dhyanam. That is meditation. And the obverse of the dhyanam is jnanam, knowledge. So meditation is always accompanied with knowledge. So just remember, there are these two streams. One can be brought under control with just concentration, even with mechanical aids, like gazing at a point. So you can do that and hold that mind there. And the other mind can be trained to think of that object, its nature. There is a small, you can say, correction in this primary, you can see mind. When it is gazing at a particular thing, now the thoughts are very fast. So how do I put it? It's like, suppose you see a lightning flash, and after a while you can hear the thunder. Okay, the same thing, but two different experiences. When you're concentrating, you're focusing your attention on a particular point on an object of meditation, what happens is there is a kind of a dilation. Take the primary focus as having two parts, the fast and the slow. Okay? First the thunder, first the lightning, then the thunder. So actually you are dealing with three streams of consciousness, if you can separate them, but it's generally lumped under the primary, you can say, stream of consciousness. Okay. So when we are concentrating on a particular object of meditation, the mind goes fast, and then there's a kind of a dilation due to time and space, due to neurons firing, whatever. It takes a few microseconds. So there's, like in the case of persistence of vision, you see a particular thing, you take your eyes off, but that image keeps on being retained in your mind's eye for a while, in your brain. That persistence of meditation. Okay. This is extremely important for meditators who want to put in all the power there inside, because you need to understand what exactly I am focusing on, use the secondary tools and then the tertiary tools, the subconsciousness. So the first part forms the conscious mind, part 1, part 2, or two aspects, the fast and the slow, and then we have the secondary, that is the subconsciousness, which is everywhere, and which also can be trained to think of the object. So what happens is you are creating a stream of consciousness, both working in tandem, and that brings us success in meditation, nothing else. It is an initial kind of awareness that you need to bring all your forces together, integrate and push. So if you can get this, then it's good enough. Okay. Let's take up a smaller practice. Okay. The same thing. Now I want you to focus here. This is you in the audience can also look at this symbol. This is just a symbol. Okay. Keep your gaze fixed on this symbol. Okay. And while meditation, always you go from the periphery to the center. So it helps you in kind of focusing. So from the periphery, from the fringes, you go down to the center. Okay. Gaze at this, please, for a while. Now close your eyes and gaze at that mental image within you. Okay, open the eyes. There are intruding thoughts, but that is the secondary stream of consciousness which is coming in. You know, thoughts are being intrusive, they're subconscious. Now, to counter that, you will have to understand the nature of this. It's just a symbol. Okay. Now take this symbol as the primal sound of the universe. The whole universe emerged from that primal vibration. It's that Om, you may call it a Big Bang or a expansion or whatever. there was a primal movement in the ocean of existence, and this was the sound that emerged, and this is symbolized in this fashion. It's a symbol, but now it is associated with the meaning of it. Okay. Now once again, gaze at this symbol now, while thinking of its meaning as the source of creation, the primal sound of the universe. Now close your eyes, visualize it, and remember. Okay, you can open our eyes, please. I think we get the technique. This is actually what is used in meditation, bringing both these things. So it is knowledge. As I said, the mind is restless because it seeks to know things. When it doesn't know things, it becomes more restless. Of course, apart from ignorance, there are other things like desires and which make the mind restless. But generally, the mind is something that wants to understand things around. And that's why it flits from place to place to place to place to place. So if it is tied down to a knowledge of this is what it means. It's going to start forming a loop within itself. Okay, this is what it is. This is what it means. This is a symbol. And while your primary mind is focused there, the first and the second aspects, the secondary mind is engaged with this. This is meditation, nothing else. Okay. That being said, what about the nature of the object of meditation? Now, in the scriptures on yoga, there is no mention of any preferential object. Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras gives a series of objects, and then he says, Yatabhimadhyanatva, you can meditate on anything that you like. Now, of course, sometimes we like our stupid things, and don't meditate on that. But the idea is, the object of meditation has to be divine. It can't be a material object. We already have materialism seeping everywhere. That is, we feel we are the body. If you feel that, you are a materialist with a spiritual inclination. That's all kind of okay. So, we all know about ourselves, isn't it? Yeah. And mainly from outside sources. People, they read us and understand us from their own perspective, and they tell us what you are. And we, like fools, we fall for it. And we keep on believing what they tell us. But in our hearts, we know what we are. We are not what people have been saying or understanding about ourselves. So all of us have an idealized sense of self as well. We know ourselves. We have an idealized sense. And this is what makes human life, you can say, sane. Yes. All of us have. So what happens is, the object of meditation should be linked to this idealized sense of your own self. What's the highest point of this idealized sense of the self? That you are divine. No scripture says that, yeah, you are not divine. I mean, they are trying to make you understand. All scriptures in their various fashions and various ways, they are trying to tell you that basically you're a child of God, you're a divine, you're a spark of the divine, they have been telling us, and we have not been taking that message up. So the object of meditation will always have to be a symbol or an image of your own divinity. If you separate yourself from your object of meditation, this is the greatest blunder that you will ever commit in meditation. That object of meditation has to be your own higher nature, which is divine. It can take any form. You can take Buddha, you can take Christ, you can take Allah, you can take Kaaba, you can take the cross, you can take anything. But the idea that this is a divine symbol which symbolizes my divinity is what you need to know when you meditate. Okay? This is knowing the object of meditation. That object is not distinct, not separate, not alien to you. You are meditating on yourself, on your higher self, of course. If this is clear, then you have real meditation. You are meditating on the divine. And as you meditate on the divine, that ideas will percolate down, will suffuse you. You will start then interpreting your actions and your thoughts and your words through that divinity. This is the goal of all religions. Of course, this is the first step in meditation. Yeah, meditation, these guys go to the very limits of meditation. But this is the starting point. We've spoken about what's life and life breath and how to control memories and etc., etc. Everything is kind of converging towards this point, that you have to know that the object, the symbol of meditation, you may take Kali or you may take Durga, you may take any of the goddesses or any of the gods as part of you and meditate. You are meditating on your higher self. It's not just a kind of a mechanical kind of symbol, nothing. This is the divinization that takes place through meditation. So when you come out of meditation, you are filled with a different sense, a different perspective, a different dimension of your own self opening up. And I tell you, this is the real journey of human life. Nothing else. If you can crack it, you've cracked it. You've cracked life. I mean, not destroyed, but you've unraveled the mystery that surrounds. Because you yourself are the most complex, the most profound being in the universe. Oh yes. How do you solve that? How do you unravel yourself? By going inside. Okay. This is knowing the object of meditation. If you can do that, yes, you've got it. So remember, there's a subject, the process of meditation, and the object of meditation. We've been speaking about these three things in our different talks. So slowly they start converging together. The object of meditation and the subject. It's like they are kind of like a tug of war that's going on. and somebody starts reeling in, the subject starts reeling in the object, and then there's emergence. So, in the next class, we will see something about the subject, the person meditates. I have given you a hint that it is your own idealized self, which you know. See, you must always understand, you know your idealized self, but you have forgotten because of mind's restlessness, and people have been putting you in a kind of a pigeonhole. This is what you are. And the whole world keeps on telling you, you are the most useless, the most hopeless, you are good for nothing, etc., etc., etc. And you know, we've been trained to hear that, and we've started believing that. That crystallized delusion has to go, and it will release all that energy there which is there with you. This is what meditation first does. It keeps on breaking all our self-imposed delusions, and then you see things very clearly. We'll go down into it in the next class, but we'll open it now today for questions if there are. Yeah, there's a loop formed. Yeah. There's something called, a short music clip or something, some thought keeps on persistently running around. It's called a worm, a brain worm, a ear worm, or something like that, which you keep on and on. Well, if it is related, if you can switch the stations to, say, you switch it all to your mantra, right, there you got it. Oh, okay. In fact, that which was a hindrance now becomes a help. So switch it out to your mantra, and there it is.
Okay, so you can play in the background.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. And not only that, there will come a time when you can completely stop it. That is, you are a part of your mind is listening to that. There are hundreds of things happening in our mind. There are actually thousands of thoughts running through our mind every hour. That's a default mode of the mind. But most of these are just fancies. The moment you pay attention to a particular thing, it becomes important. If you don't pay attention, it doesn't matter. So, a part of your mind is paying attention to that. So, if your primary mind is focused on a particular object of meditation, what happens is the secondary mind will follow, secondary stream of mind, and that will be left, it will be ignored. That comes when the meditation becomes deeper. But for now, you can change the station, use a mantra, and so that itself will become a kind of a help in your meditation. Okay, good. Exactly. So the question is, because they have got to know the question. The question is, our friend here doesn't want to meditate on any particular deity or any kind of religious symbol. Yes, you can meditate on anything you like. And that's the reason why I kind of used a point of light, a golden light. Because, it has, if you look at it from the religious standpoint, you can. But it's just a point of light, a bright, luminous point of light. You can do that. You can also use the flame, the image of a flame. Okay. Think of that as your higher idealized self. It is perfectly all right. In fact, those who can meditate even without the religion involved, and sometimes religions have become so superstitious about, no, this is what you need to know. Especially in the yoga aphorisms, it's very clear. You can meditate even on something that you had a dream about. Yes, you can meditate on your teacher, you can meditate on the heart of a saint, or anything. Anything that's sublime, you can meditate. You can meditate on the rising sun, yeah, or the setting sun. So later on, you will transcend even the idea of a symbol. You know, there are two parts of every symbol. Like both of us, we all here, we have a manifested or visible sense of self, and we also have another abstract sense of personality. So every object has two dimensions, the tangible, the graspable, and then the abstract also. So later on, whatever object you take, it's going to lead you to that abstract level. And that is what, whether if you're going to meditate on fire or wind or sun or moon or crystal or whatever, you're going to go back to that abstract idea of that symbol. So please go ahead, and in fact it's a good way to use just the power of your will to get to what you are seeking for. Because in the yoga philosophy, it is very clear that though it is a kind of a theistic system, but only one aphorism mentions, two aphorisms mentions about the cosmic, you can say, controller called Ishvara. But yoga philosophy itself is based on Sankhya philosophy. It's an ancient, where they don't have any place for God. You don't need a God. If you bring in God, you have a lot of problems. So they make that cosmic entity the teacher of all teachers, and his manifesting name is Om, and etc., etc. But rest is just thrown upon the meditator itself. Now you extricate yourself from your own self. That is the idea. Good. Yeah. No. So the question was, now I mentioned that meditation is a very kind of active process, not a passive process. In fact, I would say it's a proactive process. And when our friend here was meditating, after a while she could visualize it in the beginning, the object, and then later on it becomes blurred. You know, kind of. That's because the other numerous thoughts come and kind of dilute it. When you are just sitting down with a blank, that's not meditation. Okay. So meditation, like I said, it has to involve either a concrete or an abstract object, and focused. So after a while you see you're just sitting down with a blank and nothing is happening. That's a kind of a dullness that has come. The focus has broken. And once you refocus, again that object will immediately leap in your mind. You try it out. So generally practiced meditators, what they do is not to heat the brain up too much. They alternate between focus and non-focus. I have done it. So you focus for a few minutes intensely, then you kind of relax. You let go. And once again focus, and again. It's like, you're trying to develop your biceps. What do? You compress and expand. Something like that. You do it and this. That's the way. But this comes when you are conscious that it's still on the active state, that you're concentrating and letting go for a while, again concentrating, letting go. This can give you a sustained period of meditation. Thank you. If we can start soft meditation music at the time of primary focus activity, is it wrong? The music is okay. Should it be stopped after a few minutes? You can use music for meditation. Now, but classical, you can say, meditation will not let you listen to music. But ordinarily, music can take you a great deal forward in your journey. I personally would recommend that if you are inclined to listen to soft music, you can use it, because music, the structure of music mimics very ancient neural systems within our own brain. Even creatures, birds and animals are affected by music. Oh yes. So, that music which really kind of sinks into your old structure, the neural structures within, makes you calm. And music, of course, is one of the greatest means to realize God, because at one point of time it concentrates you, it goes down deeper and deeper, and then after some time the music stops in silence. In the life of Sri Ramakrishna, you have him singing, or he enjoys people singing, and there's a kind of a rapture, kind of a dance. And so yes, I would personally recommend, but not for everybody. If you are used to it, please do it. Those who are not used to it, I'm not telling you it's a kind of a general recommendation, but it's a help. What would be the difference in having Kali as object of meditation compared to Durga or Krishna and Ram? Now, you see, there are two types. One is you can say, it's nothing to do with gender. It's kind of the masculine aspect of divinity and the feminine aspect of divinity. We are sometimes oriented towards one of the two. Like you said, Kali and Durga and Rama and all this, Krishna, whatever. The devotional types will go towards this kind of the image. Those who are of that orientation with predominantly knowledge, they will go for abstract things. Okay. Now, your liking for a particular object will depend on things like the elements that constitute your personality. And the predominant element that constitutes your personality is your memories, your likes and your dislikes. They orient you. We will, in Indian philosophy, said your own karma. Each person has a different personality. It's unique, and they have that particular kind of orientation towards the divine in that particular fashion. We would recommend, if you like a particular object, meditate on that. I'm not asking you to whether take this or that object, you take Kali or Durga or whatever, but don't change that object of meditation after 2 days, saying that, oh, I don't like Kali, I like Durga, I don't like. No, that's not recommended. It has ramifications, but stick to one and really push on and on and on. Now, if you have been initiated by a guru, then the guru has given you a mantra and an object of meditation that is in consonance with your own physical and mental and psychological makeup. So we like certain deities because we are constituted thus. In Indian philosophy, that aspect of that divine is also part of you. So, I want to elaborate on this. You come on Sunday, my talk will be kind of touching a little on this aspect. Okay. While meditating, I think about the meaning of the mantra, but then suddenly my mind is running after something else. How can I avoid this situation? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's 99.99% of everyone who does that. Let it run. You don't run after it, but it's going to take you to Antarctica, it'll take you to the Sahara, it'll take you to the Mariana Trench. Don't run after it. Stand your ground, let it come back to you. Okay? Never let the mind take you out for a ride. Just if it's restless, let it go, it'll come back. But you keep on repeating mechanically the mantra. Keep on. Mind will come back. And then it'll dance before you, and then it'll go back somewhere else. And they say, no, don't. So stand your ground and let the mind come back. And then it's going to be under your control after a while. Okay. So thank you very much. See you all. Once again, as we say, next Friday we take the fifth aspect of this approaching of meditation, and Sunday we have the 5 constituents of karma. What constitutes karma? Everything that we do is karma. Okay. Thank you very much. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So thank you all for joining.